take a look at the markets. We're watching them right now, down 250, a little bit more than that, points as they prepare to close. Right now, the Dow, as I said, down. A reaction to President Trump's new tariff threats. Joining us now, co-host of the Prop G Markets podcast, Ed Elson, former Congressman Max Rose, also still with us. Ed, Donald Trump said that the announcement yesterday of the new tariffs and the markets not going down was proof that the markets actually like his tariff policy.
Well, I'll just tell you what I think of the tariff policy, because I think that Wall Street would probably agree with me. My overwhelming feeling about this new tariff policy is a feeling of boredom. The president is an entertainer. He loves to entertain. He loves to create a big story. But he needs a new act, because this one is actually getting very boring. Like, I've been on your show, I think 5 times, Katie, and each time has been to discuss tariffs. And here I am for number 6, and nothing has really changed. Like, we've got the 35% tariff on Canada, 25% on South Korea, more tariff threats on Europe. We've seen this movie before. It's the same thing as Liberation Day, plus or minus a few percentage points. So there's nothing really to add here. So I think what we're seeing from the markets right now, it's a giant yawn. It's an expression of boredom. And I would say that is the only real difference between Liberation Day Part 1 and Liberation Day Part 2. We're seeing the exact same thing.
With Donald Trump, and when he gets into reruns, he starts to up the ante. So, listen, we don't know when the tariffs are going to go into effect. He keeps pushing things. Every day it's a new change, a new deadline. But if he starts upping the ante, could you see the markets wake up and start to pay attention?
Well, I think that is exactly the question that we need to be asking, because, just to put the difference in perspective, when we had the first Liberation Day in April, the S&P dropped 12%. It was one of the largest 3-day crashes in the history of the American stock market. It was bigger than the Great Financial Crisis. It was bigger than COVID. It was huge. Part 2 has just happened. And to be clear, we can call it Part 2 because the majority of these tariffs are actually exactly the same. And you look at the ticker here, we're flat. I think the S&P is up maybe 0.1% for the week. You just showed the Dow Jones there, barely down. And so the big question is, what effect will the market's boredom have on the president? Because remember, last time, the only reason he paused it was because of how the markets reacted. The markets threw up, he got the jitters, he chickened out. But now that the markets assume he's going to chicken out, it's a very interesting dynamic. Now that they no longer believe him, it's almost like we've lost our mechanism for getting him under control. So I think that is the right question to ask. Is it possible, now that the markets aren't reacting, that this time he actually does go through with the tariffs because of the lack of the reaction?
Yeah, the showman needs a show that you want to watch, and if you're in reruns, you start to get bored. We talk about the markets, Max, but the markets are only, 50% of the population is in the market. It's a lot of people, but the other 50% is not, and they are closely paying attention, as we all are, to the prices at the store. And that's eventually, according to economists, going to start hitting hard.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm fanboying a little bit because I'm a gigantic fan of Ed and listen to his podcast every day. So it's good to be on with you. Look, and it's ironic now that I'm actually going to start off by disagreeing with him. The politics of this remain extraordinary. Okay, we see Democrats unified, not just incumbent members, but also challengers across the country, rightfully representing the fact that here we have the President of the United States acting in the most erratic manner humanly imaginable. And yes, it might roil the markets, sometimes in a very significant manner, sometimes just a measly 250 points, which used to be a big deal. But if you are a small business owner, if you're just an average run-of-the-mill consumer trying to plan your days, weeks, and months ahead, you're looking for it and you deserve predictability from the President of the United States, not some erratic individual who looks just like he's trying to have a good time. The one moment, perhaps the one day where the market and the news might just not be focusing on him and him solely alone. So this remains egregious. and outrageous and something that Democrats will rightfully be running on across the country.